the desire of the congregation was to have a place to meet that was designated as a worship center.
We were a young congregation. We were actually barely a congregation. We hadn't been around for a long time.
The vision was always to build a building, and one of the biggest hurdles was when our pastor at the time, Pastor Walter Smith, assured the congregation that we should go ahead and build the church without assuming a bank mortgage.
I talked about that with the whole congregation, and then we voted on that we would do it by faith. We would use the money that we had, begin to build, and then trust that God would provide, and that is exactly what happened. And
he thought that God would be pleased by us walking by faith, and he encouraged us all to think that way, that it really could be done God's way without relying on man's provision in a mortgage or a loan situation. That proved to be a very wise idea.
And it was in this exact location here that a group of men, probably a dozen men, stood together around a huge campfire and enjoyed a breakfast, an outdoor breakfast, but also prayed about something that was very dear to us all, and that was that someday on this property, which was all trees at that time, just a forest all around us, that someday there would be a church here for Bay Community Church.
We decided, I thought that it'd be a good idea if we got together and prayed every Monday morning for the progress of the church, the construction. And we prayed for the safety of the workers, and we prayed that the funds would come through.
Because it was a walking by faith and expecting that the money would be there every time, and the money always was there every time.
And week by week the money came in. It was just amazing. It was miraculous.
So we received gifts from people that we had never met before.
And of course, as you know, this church building, this church property, the hole in the ground, were prayed for constantly for favor and for safety for the workers.
I can only remember one minor accident happening, and that was when I believe a hammer fell on Jim Percy's head, and he had a bit of a gash on his head.
When they were putting the trusses up, we had to get we had professional help to do certain things because we had to, and one of them was the trusses. And so the fellow that was coming in with his big machine to put the trusses up was, I gather, quite concerned because he would be working with all these amateurs, and he was concerned about somebody getting hurt, it not being done properly. And the story I hear is that that day that they put the trusses up went so incredibly smoothly and so incredibly quickly that this fellow who had come in to do them was just utterly amazed. And it was a real testament to God, again, with his hand on this church, that a very possibly tricky situation just went like clockwork.
It was a very exciting thing to experience.
We just thank God that he honored us.
It was a unifying factor. It was a step of faith by the whole congregation, and we all enjoyed it and grew.
It was really a faith-building exercise.
And the building as it is totally his gift to us. And therefore it should continue to be a lesson to all who see that.